I've been down, counted out, smiling through the taste of blood in my own mouth. I got bruises and broken bones, but they don't know I ain't in this ring alone. I'm a fighter. No one can say that I'm a running hider. I was born to be a do or dieer, a make it rider. Don't throw that towel just yet. Don't cash in that last bet, 'cause I hit harder when I'm tired. I'm a fighter. I get back up, that's what I do. I didn't soldier on this far just to lose. So take your shot, is that all you got? I'm a fighter. No one can say that I'm a running hider. I was born to be a do-or-dieter, a make-it-rider. Don't throw that towel just yet. Don't cash in that last bet, 'cause I hit harder when I'm tired. Yeah, I'm a fighter. Oh, no one can keep me down. They didn't know, but they know now. That I'm a fighter. No one can say that I'm a running hider. Don't cash in that last bet. Don't throw that towel just yet. I'm a fighter.
Hey guys, what's up? What's up? This is Jeff Freedom on Monday night. To start off the podcast, I'm actually going live on YouTube. I'm going live on Kickstart, and I actually started also with the TikTok. But the problem with TikTok with the viewers, they're only seeing a side view. They don't get to see like you guys with the Jeff Freedom page, obviously on Facebook, and with the Canadian Dawn on YouTube with the videos and all those beautiful things that I show you guys. To back up my proof of what I talk and what I say usually comes with proof, obviously. Anyway, welcome to Monday night, guys. Before we begin, lots of stuff to show, lots of videos. Let's do the shout outs of, the Common Centers, the Freedom Family, Once Upon a Time, Pure Bloods, the Pure Bloods themselves, the Canadian Patriots, and of course, our American family. How can we forget our American family? We never can forget our American family. So anyway, the first shout outs going out to Mr. Gilles Bourgeois. How you doing, Juanita Nancy Bouchard? She goes, damn, I'm here early. Yeah, that's a first. How you doing, brother from a different mother? Vincent Guimond, Michelle from Ontario, Brent from North Carolina, Miss Nancy, Patty Votor, Yolanda, Miss Kim, Mo, Mac. Michelle says it's going to feel like minus 27 tonight with the chill factor in London. Can you imagine being homeless Can you imagine being homeless? Can you imagine those poor animals that are homeless too? When you see temperatures, not see them, but you feel them at minus 27, and you think about how many homeless people are out there. I can't even remember the number. Just in Ontario alone, it's like I've seen a number like 80,000. I don't believe. I think that might be 80,000 Canada wide. But can you imagine being homeless in this kind of weather, minus 37? But the immigrants are all cuddled up with their $4,000 a month on subsidies and condos and apartments and houses for the Africans, of course, and the hotels, with the food vouchers for what, $300 a day for the hotel and the food. Anyway, and on and on and on. And we have people with mental illnesses literally freezing to death on the street. So my heart goes out to them. It always has been out. If you guys even knew in my past of how many people I took off the street to come to my place, got them jobs and stuff like that. I believe that's why, karma, if you treat people good, karma comes your way. You treat people bad, karma comes your way. And I was blessed for helping people as much as I can. Anyway, hi, Genevieve, Ron from the Peg area, Stephen from, of course, Baby, It's Cold Outside. Remember they tried to ban that song, guys, Baby, It's Cold Outside? Remember back in 2020 or 2021, they tried to ban that Christmas song, Baby, It's Cold Outside? That one was pretty funny. How you doing, Frank? Camaro, Chevy Girl, Karen, Danica, Jidwa, Miss Dinny, Sheila from Texas, Brittany, Brenda Pryor, Mo, Tadaz, Sean, brother from a different mother. Sean, you see your shirt back there? That's a proud shirt, buddy. I've got it covering up the 2024, which I usually don't do, but of course, I'll do it for you. How you doing, Roland? Brother from a different mother. Martin, Serge, another brother from a different mother. Kathy, Miss Carrie from Ontario. Julie, Dale, Elizabeth, Jane from Chile, Florida. That's hard to believe. Chile, Florida. Well, I can promise you it's not minus 37 in Chile, Florida. Miss Pauline, Kenny, did Carney and China deal fall through yet? Kenny, there was never a deal with Canada and China. There was never a deal. If you guys remember what I said, this is all for exposure. Am I right? Because I got video. If you guys watch my profile today, I showed you the video on my profile. There's never a deal. This is just for exposure. I call it the Great Awakening. We should know that by now, right? So at the end of the day, Carney is exposing for the corruption he really is with the Liberal Party. Now, was he told to do this? I mean, if I said yes, he was, I would be a conspirator, right? But let's just say there's no deal. Never was. How you doing, May? What else? Was going to be 10 degrees in the morning. Darn that global warming. Yeah. How you doing, Dorothy from Saskatchewan? Hello from Saskatchewan. Just read the China and CN deal went through. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. I gotcha, Jeff, on all three platforms. Wow. Yeah. So anyway, Dorothy, Norman, Miss Sylvia from Summerside, Audrey from Blackwater, Virginia, 3 degrees there in the morning. Yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys love that song too. Chris Walker from Kansas, U.S. Benoit, that's another brother from a different mother. His son plays hockey with my son. So if I know him, he's up north in the Quebec. And you think, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, it's minus 37 where he works, and he's got to work night shift, 12-hour shifts in the cold. So imagine him, and they pay good for him, but minus 37 working from midnight to noon and all that stuff. The shift it's not. I know he doesn't do the oil rig work. I can't remember what he does, but let's just say he sends photos on his Facebook, and it's not too hot down there, up there in Quebec. So how you doing, Dan Sear? Marcel the Tiger Dion, watching from Jamaica, man. He's still in Jamaica. It's nice to have all kinds of money and get to travel to Jamaica in these cold months. Summers. Miss Eagles, my cousin and her husband just moved from sunny California to snowy Arkansas. It must not be pretty on the East Coast. Yeah, who would want to live? Who would want to live in California anyway? What's up, Marcel, Robbie Show, Norman? Plastics. No, yeah, guys, if I were you, I'm going to do it actually later on. I'm going to try to make a snowball and light it up, because every year I do that to see what the snow is going to be like this year. And a lot of people are doing that test. They're they're trying to get a snowball and lighting it up, and you can smell plastic. Just to let you guys know, try it out and see if it works for you. I guarantee it's not going to. It's going to burn. You're going to see a black mark, and it's not going to melt in your area, depending where you are. But I can guarantee I've been doing every year. I've been doing it, so we're going to try it again tonight. How you doing, Joel Dag, Myrna, Miss Lee's, Jeanette, and the list goes on and on, guys. I can't get you all. Shoot, I'll spend the whole show just doing shout-outs. All right, first things first, since you guys brought it up, the whole Mark Carney thing and all that crap. Well, check this out. It's 21 seconds, just to let you know. It was just all for show, all right? But I'm going to call him Flip-Flop Carnage Carney.
I'm pleased today to announce that Canada and China have reached a preliminary but landmark trade agreement. We have commitments under CUSMA that not to pursue free trade agreements with non-market economies without prior notification. We have no intention of doing that with China or any other non-market economy.
Yeah, you can't forget that CUSMA deal, right? Section 33, right? Section 33 in CUSMA. No one understands. It was NAFTA, switched over to the USMCA, and now it's called CUSMA. But in there in Section 33, if I'm not mistaken, it says, like you said, you can't pretty much do other trades with other countries. That's why they had Mexico, Canada, United States, right? It's all exposure. That's all it is. It's Carney trying to do what Carney does best, and that's to destabilize the economy, start a war against Donald Trump. So I'll ask you guys, since you guys are supposed to be well awake, we'll see how your pineal glands are thinking tonight. Hopefully they're not froze. All right. And you guys tell me, why do you think Carnage Carney is doing everything to poke Donald Trump? So I'll give you guys 30 seconds to tell me, why do you guys think that he's doing this he's doing it on purpose? But why do you think Carnage Carney is doing everything to provoke Donald Trump? So I'll give you guys, how you doing, Carolyn? She's late, but she's here. So I'll give you guys 30 seconds. Throw some answers out. Just remember, there's no such thing as a stupid answer. All right. Jeanette says election coming. Votes Orange Man bad to win majority. All right. I mean, yeah, you guys are hitting it. That's his part in the movie, so people can wake up. Yep. Okay, Frank, that's a good one. Yep. Anybody else? Orange Man bad to win majority? Our wind chill hit -51 the weekend. Well, that's Winnipeg, buddy. You couldn't pay me $1 million to live in Manitoba. Not even $1 million. His ultimate humiliation. He's not wanted it. He's commanded to. Yeah, it's come to a point. It's all a show. So, number one, exposure. Bringing down the Liberal Party, because a lot of corruption's happening behind the Liberal Party right now, as you can see. Number two is, believe it or not, is they know the Liberal Party, they know they're done. They know they're toasted. So they're like, can you imagine all these clowns in a room saying, what can we do? Because we know we're done for the early election. What can we do to gain confidence? So what does he do? Well, you know what? We won, aka no. We won the last election by the boomers, by scaring them that Donald Trump was going to, Mark Carney, Carnage Carney, was going to make a deal with Donald Trump. Well, that's not happening. So the only way to make this happen right now for the next election, which is coming in April, like I told everyone, is we have to scare them again and make Orange Man bad and try to win a majority government to literally completely demolish what Justin Trudeau started, and Carnage Carney is going to try to finish. All right. But yeah, there won't be no more Dominion machines, Mo, just to let you know. All right. That was the whole thing with Venezuela, just to let you know. Okay. So there won't be no more Dominion voting systems. That's why the whole thing with Venezuela is that's where it all began. I remember telling that to people 2 years ago on my live, that Venezuela were the first country that they actually implemented the Dominion voting systems, and they used those systems throughout the whole world to bring in all those corrupted politicians in Germany, France, London, Japan, of course in Venezuela, all those places, Canada, United States, which they kind of messed up for the United States with, of course, with Hillary Clinton. So at the end of the day, they're going to try to, orange man bad. Is it going to work? No, it's not going to work, to be honest with you, because I don't know. There's still going to be a bunch of boomers that are still going to fear Don, the Don himself, Orange Man. And now what Carney's doing, as you guys can see, what Carney's doing, I want to save this for later, but I'm going to show you guys right now what Carney is actually doing. All right. And then I want you guys to make it make sense. All right. I'm going to try to find it for you guys. I know I got it here. It's right here. Check this out. So federal government to introduce grocery rebate sources. Prime Minister Mark Carney to announce the GST credit top-up. Other affordability measures on Monday. Yeah, that's right, guys. So make this make sense. So tell me, let's see if you guys are paying attention. Tell me why this is the stupidest thing you could possibly do, and people will buy into it. That's how dumb people really are in Canada. What's so stupid about him giving out $30 a month? All right, you tell me what's so stupid. And then we're supposed to get this one-time GST thing, but you tell me why that's the stupidest thing that you could possibly even think about. Okay, so Carney's making himself a fool. No prices on the veggies. He was in front today. We're in war already. The system was taken down. I got a feeling there will be a civil war around April. There's no civil war. More money for immigrants and the poor. Come on, guys. Why is that so stupid to give us rebates of $30? Okay, Vincent says he's trying to gain. Okay, Irene says $33 extra a month. No GST on food. Anybody? Because it's going up to 25% starting in July, Jeanette says. Okay, well, you guys are throwing all this, but I'm going to give you the answer. Because every time the federal government gives us rebates, every time the federal government gives us shit like this, we're not saving. It's costing us. Thank you, Kim. It's printing more money. It's costing us. At the end of the day, it's still costing us, because when the government says they're going to give you money, oh my God, $30 a month. Where do you think that money's coming from? It's coming from our tax that we're paying into. So the more money they give us, the more money they print, the more inflation starts and rises. This is what happens with the whole thing, what Carney's been doing and the Liberal government for the past 10 years. They make it make sense with what happened in the past 10 years that our economy went to crap, but they're blaming Donald Trump for the last 10 years. All right. Our taxes. It's just going to make us pay more tax. So it's like insanity. The definition of insanity, which I think you guys should know. I should get a t-shirt that says insanity with the definition. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. Because at the end of the day, it's our money that he's using to give us our money back. But in the end, we're actually paying for it. So we're going to be taxed more. All right. So yeah. So make that make sense. I want to put that out there. It doesn't make sense. And that's people, if people even, and the thing is people going to bite on it. Oh my God, we're going to get an extra $30 and we're going to get an extra, a one-time payment of GST. But what these people don't understand, that's money that we're going to have to pay. We get back, but we pay into it because the gas is going to go up. The food's going to go up. You understand? Everything's going to go up. So we're not getting anything. Not a damn thing. What else can I talk about? Let's do a video because I know Ron's watching. He's like, where's the video? I know when it comes to Ron. So actually, Ron, I can't give you. Yeah, I can give you a 3-minute video because it's Mario up north talking about Canadian stuff, because I like starting on Canadian stuff and then I'll eventually get into the American. Here's a 3-minute video for you guys to watch. Check this out.
As many struggle with affordability.
The cost has gone really up for most of the things.
The Canadian Taxpayers Federation says drivers are still paying more, pointing to a federal climate policy introduced in 2023.
The numbers are from the Parliamentary Budget Officer, and the hidden carbon tax will add up to 7 cents per liter of gas this year. As these regulations get fully implemented by 2030, they're going to increase the price of gas by up to 17 cents per liter.
The policy known as the Clean Fuel Regulations is designed to make gas and diesel cleaner over time by requiring fuel producers to cut pollution or buy credits if they don't.
When there is a cost increase from point A to its final destination, that increase will end up usually getting passed along to the point where the consumer is going to pay for that.
CTV News reached out to the federal government but did not receive a response by deadline. But for consumers, reaction remained mixed.
That cost is passed down on to us. I don't think we should be.
The government knew that Canadians were fed up with a carbon tax. So what they did in the background is they implemented a hidden tax. And I'm going to give you a quick example of how these hidden taxes work in a real business sense. You have this happen with franchises as an example. So when you go to franchise a location, and it doesn't matter what kind of restaurant, fast food location or business it is, they'll charge you a percent. Let's say that percent is 5%. That's the royalty fee that you get to pay. Let's assume for a second that's the carbon tax. We paid this explicit carbon tax that we would see in our bill, and we would explicitly know what was going to be paid. Now, what these franchises do is they'll say, well, we're going to change our menu, and we're actually going to change equipment you have to buy from us. And all of a sudden, that retrofit that you have to buy from them, they're profiting off of that. They're making revenue off of the franchises. So then the franchises then have to put out $500,000 or $1 million. This is what this hidden tax is like. It's a real tax. It gets passed on to consumers, and it affects everyday Canadians at the pump. So the government can put these regulations in the background that you will never know of because you'll never see that in an explicit bill. And having rules and regulations like this not only make our life expensive, but it creates an anti-competitive environment. So the takeaway is, when you hear the word hidden tax or a hidden carbon tax, this is how they do it. Through regulations that force the producers to spend much more money to try to meet these government demands, and then you ultimately pay that price. Think of this as a downstream tax. It starts at the producer level and it goes all the way downstream to the consumer, which is you. A hidden tax.
Thank you, Mario. Not that it really matters, because obviously anything the Liberals do, there's always a scheme behind it. But Mario just explained it, more like in cold notes. But at the end of the day, like I said, when the government gives you money, don't think it's free. I guess you could say, do not think that money given to us from the government is free. And Martin mentioned something about Brookfield. Trump needs to shut down Brookfield. Well, just to let you know, this is why Trump put Carney front and center, and Brookfield signed a deal with for natural energy, something like $80 billion or something. Remember that? Was to bring Brookfield front and center. If you guys pay attention and you know anything about Trump, he'll put things front and center to say, hey, by the way, Brookfield just signed a deal with America for $80 billion. And then all of a sudden, things start coming out of who was in charge of Brookfield and who did this in Brookfield and who moved the incorporation, the headquarters to the United States from Canada, Brookfield. And where does Brookfield hide their money? In Bahamas? You know what I mean? You understand? So people are starting to see it, or are they starting to see it? At the end of the day, it's all for exposure with Carney, and it's going to get worse for Carney. It's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. All right, let's share a couple more things about Canada, and then we'll move forward to the real news, obviously. So here's another one for you guys. So breaking news, China snags Canadian gold mining company in $5.5 billion takeover. A partially state-owned Chinese subsidiary under the oversight of the Chinese Communist Party has agreed to acquire Canadian-listed Allied Gold and a $5.5 billion cash deal. I mean, again, China, they've already bought, they own part of some kind of pipeline, oil pipeline, and now I know Trudeau sold all our gold deposits. You know, when he came into power, literally it was one of the first things he did was sold all the gold. Like Canada doesn't have any gold. So, I mean, for whatever is left, you know, the Liberals are doing this and selling out to China. But the problem is the boomers. They're still up and around, kicking. Their vaccines haven't worked yet. And that's the problem. They're literally keep on bringing in the liberals, and you still, like, even though they stole the election, I think Carnage Carney only won like around 400,000. That was the difference. There was only a vote difference of around 400,000 people. All right, that's it for the Conservative Party to have won. So I guarantee the next one they're not winning. If guaranteed they're not winning in April. But the thing is they're going to do as much damage as they can. Carney's going to do as much damage as he can. All right. And that whole floor crossing, remember I told you, we only need one more floor crosser. They're going to take them. I've already said, no, it's not going to happen. I told everyone it wasn't going to happen. I hope you guys remember. It's never going to happen, but it shows how corrupt the House of Commons really is. It shows corruption of how China's Michael Ma did this. It shows corruption of what the Liberal Party will go to do this. You understand? And you see it even on today's news, that you have the Liberals still courting conservative people to try to cross over, right? Like those 3 conservatives say, no matter what you guys try to do, stop sending people over, because it's never going to happen. All right. So anyway, like I said, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And I thought this was pretty funny from Justin Trudeau and what Elon Musk wrote to him. So Justin Trudeau writes, there is, what he said, there is not a snowball chance in hell that Canada becomes part of the United States. Workers and communities in both our countries benefit from being each other's biggest trading and security partner. And Elon Musk goes, girl, you're not the governor of Canada anymore. And I don't know what he put underneath that. So anyway, at the end of the day, you got to love Elon Musk. Honest to God, you really do got to love Elon Musk, because he's the GOAT when it comes to trolling. We're talking about almost a trillionaire that still throws out jokes and laughs at people, especially when it comes to him. What was this? Yeah, that was Elon Musk. Let's get rid of that so I don't show that again. So that's done. All right, back to the States. Let's get to the real news with the States. Who cares about what happens with Carnage Carney? I told you guys, don't pay attention. That's just a joke. At the end of the day, it's a complete joke what happens with Carnage Carney and the Liberal government and Canadian politics. I don't even concentrate on that. To be honest with you, I don't pay attention. It's a big joke. All right. Here's Donald Trump, Orange Man bad. So China has successfully and completely taken over the once great country of Canada. So sad to see it happen. I only hope they leave ice hockey alone. President Donald Trump, you got to love this guy. Leave ice hockey alone. I mean, and at the end of the day, I get a kick out of people still talking about Donald Trump is part of the club. Donald Trump is this. Donald Trump is that. How can you trust Donald Trump for doing this and doing that? Listen, for the people that are just following me and that don't know what happened, while I called out Mr. Freedom last night, I've been calling him out for a while now since I got unbanned. And finally, he went on his Facebook and he said, I challenge, let's do a debate, Jeff Freedom, and let's get this, because he used to be a big Trump supporter. And then he made this big rant on January 1st about he apologizes, but he was mistaken. So I got him on the show. We've been talking behind the scenes like men, which is great because we don't want to look like two retards arguing and yelling at each other on a podcast, right? So we agreed to be men. He has a lot of things to do this week because the guy's amazing when it comes to he's does something on Monday nights at church from 7 to 9. And then he's responsible for Boys and Girls Club or something on Wednesday night. Thursday, I'm gone. So the only time we can do this thing is Sunday or next Monday, but we can't next Monday because he's tied up on Mondays. Anyway, the guy's a great guy, but I am going to get to him. He said, he wrote me a text message and he asked me, what do you have against me? And I basically said, you're a great guy. Your comedy is probably the best I've ever seen in the world. You make me laugh like hell, but there's something or did or someone got a hold of you to literally turn a 180 against Trump. You tell me you got 45 million views on your TikTok or whatever. And if you know, you know. Understand? You don't get 45 million views without having a little tap on the shoulder to say, hey, by the way, if you do this, you do that, you're going to get a lot of views. Because if you think Jake Paul and Logan Paul started doing stupid things and all of a sudden are almost billionaires because of stupid stuff they were doing on TikTok and shit like that. No, it doesn't happen that way. You think Mr. Beast does a video and within 3-4 hours he's got 82 million followers, like views? Doesn't happen like that. And just the fact that he names himself Mr. Beast should go and show and tell you something's up. But you know what? The people don't click in. The people don't click in. And yes, he's the best dam roofer. He really is. I have nothing against him at all. So he did back out. He didn't back out. He's with us Sunday. We had a good conversation. He's with us Sunday. He said he's pumped for it. That's good because I'm going to show the video of him doing his rant, and then we're going to talk like men, and we're going to go from there. He calls out pedos. He's a great guy. He's hilarious as hell. I really do love the guy. He's amazing. But there's something that happened that doesn't sit right with me. And I called him out on it, and I'm glad he actually answered. Not like Miss Titania Truthseeker, who's a grifter. You know, Mr. Freedom's far from being a grifter. He's a marketing genius and probably one of the funniest men I've ever seen do videos. So anyway, we'll leave it to that. But that's our special guest for Sunday night, guys, at 9 o'clock. We'll have Mr. Freedom. I already had him before. All right, I already had him on my show last year. Talking about what he did, walking in a public school to talk about what they were doing. Remember that for the people that have been following me? So yes, I'll be doing a live Sunday with him as a special guest at 9 o'clock, guys. So we'll leave it to that. All right. So Donald Trump did a few things, obviously. And I'm going to show you a bunch of tweets from Donald Trump. Anyway, he shows this part right here. The apparently the nurse, the ICU nurse that they just went down in Minnesota. This is the gun that he had with 2 magazines. Basically, I believe all of this is just kind of weird. The reason why I call it weird is check this out. How do you think ICE is doing in Minnesota? His name was Pretty. His last name was Pretty, and her last name is Good. So, you know, make it make sense. Pretty Good. Could that be a coincidence? Pretty Good? Like, honestly, is that just a coincidence that their last name's Pretty Good? Like, come on. What's going on? All right. If you guys believe in coincidence, then fine. You guys believe in coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. But the whole point of all of this, of what's happening, is because of this, guys. So Trump says that Walz and Omar support the anti-ICE protests to distract from the fraud controversy. That's exactly what I've been saying. This is all happening because of the fraud that they uncovered in Minnesota, and it's everywhere. And I'll show you something. Make this make sense. It's weird that ICE are operating in dozens of states, but it only gets violent in the one where we just uncovered $1 billion fraud ring with probable links to the governor. Yeah, make that make sense. They're sending all their troops, guys. They're going full out retard mode. All right, in Minnesota, because they know it's not 1 billion. We're talking like, I think it's like $18 billion fraud year, not since the beginning of time. No, $18 billion a year in fraud that's been happening. And it's happening even worse. I think California is like 80 billion, which I could have told them a long time ago. Then you got Michigan, you got Maine, you got, there was another place, I think, in Illinois. Anyway, all the blue states basically is what's happening. All those blue states, they are uncovering billions of dollars of Somalian fraud. And that's why this is happening in Minnesota. And it's just going to get worse. But I want you to see this video. All right. It's a 16-second video. And I could tell you what I would do. If ICE came at my door tomorrow and say, Jeff, do you want to sign up with ICE and we'll do I'd be like, you know what? I'm there. Like, I'm there. Sign me up. Put a badge on me. Give me a gun. Give me some pepper spray. I'd be the first one in line and the first one to get up in the morning and the first one to jump in my car to go grab these Somalians. And all the libtards, I can guarantee it would be a great day of, doing what I would do best, and that is like stomping on heads. But check this out. Check this out. This is the kind of insanity, retarded evilness that's happening with these Antifa. And I hate to call them thugs because they're a bunch of wimps. All right, I'm going to show you what Antifa looked like, but watch this 16-second video.
Shoot us in the fucking face! Shoot me in the fucking head! Why don't you fucking shoot me in the fucking head? You coward! You're fucking coward! I'm right here! Fucking kill me!
Yeah, you understand? You don't even understand. Those guys have more patience than me because you know what? I mean, it would be a throat punch automatically flipped over my shoulder and literally choked out. That would be my move. Throat punch, judo flip, and choked out. Right? And they have the right to do it. They have the right to do it. So I wish they would. And I can't call them Antifa thugs because this is what they look like. Like, take a look at that picture, all right? Because this is exactly why they cover their faces. And this is exactly why, all right, exactly why we need to bring back bullying. This is the reason why back in the early 2000s, guys, this was all by design. They had so much things that they put into action. But one thing is they pre-planned this with Antifa for the longest time. But what they did is they got out bullying from the school. All right. Do you know why they took out bullying from the schools? I'm going to ask you guys this. All right. Why do you think they took out bullying out of schools? All right. I'll let you guys do this. Why do you think? The problem is I kind of give the answer out, but let's see what you guys, because it all was by design. They started by putting a seed and then they went with that seed. All right. Yeah, I seen that, Curly. They've been driving through people, blocking as well, weak men. So why do you think they came up with that whole narrative with stop bullying at school? To pussy down our kids, okay. To bring in grooming, okay. Feminism, okay. Good answers, but not the right answers. Not the right answer. I'm sure they're part of it. But, I mean, the liberals do nothing but bully us. No, that's got nothing to do with it. To promote feminism, no, that's not it. Not it at all. Because how they did it by design is they made us believe, like the kids that getting shot up at the school, they, in the United States, they try to ban guns, right? Because they wanted to take the guns. So that's why they would shoot up schools. They shoot up schools so the parents will get mad. So they would try to take our guns. Okay, now you see the false flag. The thing with the bullying is they made us believe that kids were committing suicide because of bullying. See where this is going? All right. So what happens here? Because in school, when you bully, those kids grow up to be weak men. All right. You understand what I'm saying? They grow up to be weak men. So when you take away the bully rule and you punish the people that used to bully these kids, this is what happens because they coast through school and through life, not being bullied. And this is why they can go anti-retarded. You understand? Does that make sense? Because it's just a common sense answer. All right. So Curly said some kids have suicide. Well, I'm sure a couple kids have suicide, but that's not exactly why the bullying came into play. All right. Kids have suicide. It's not because of bullying, mental problems, vaccines, right? Parents, abusive parents, right? Had nothing to do because some kid was bullying them. Fuck. You know how many times I got bullied for being the English kid in a French town? I come home once, I get a black eye from the French kids. I mean, just to let you know, that doesn't make me want to go commit suicide. But when you take the bullies away from the school, these kids go coasting through thinking they can do whatever they want. And this is exactly how Antifa are. Don't believe me? Take a very good look at that picture that I showed you guys. This is why they did this, is to groom these people, to program them, to show them that they can do anything they want to do and there will be no consequences. You understand? That's how Antifa was done. Now, if the bullying would have been kept in school, none of this shit would ever happen. You see it? You see what I'm saying? That's the answer. If you agree with it, fine. If you don't, you don't. But at the end of the day, that's what happens. Because you know what else? You know, this is the guy that got shot. This is the individual that got shot. All right? Do you think this person would be able to dress like that or look like that in public if they would have, if they would have never brought in that bullying? Do you think he would have been able to walk around like that if there was still bullying in school? I don't care what anybody says. Jeff, that just sounds so cruel. No, there's no such thing as a majority of kids or any kind of kids have suicide. Okay, so out of we'll do a statistic. Out of 10 kids that committed suicide, if you take a percentage of maybe 2 of those 10 really committed suicide because of a bully, okay, I'll give you that. I don't believe it. I'll say 1 out of 10, but I can promise you there's mental health problems, and mental health problems come from homes, broken homes, abusive homes. And let's not forget about the vaccinations. The vaccinations in babies, how many vaccinations does a baby get again? 77, right? But Orange Man bad, even though they killed and took out a good 80% of the vaccinations now. But let's forget about Good Man. All right. Back in our day, when there was bullies, what movie? I'll give you guys a question. What movie back in the 80s? What movie back in the 80s was programmed for kids that were weak, that had bullies? How about that one? Let's see what movie. It's probably one of the best bullying movie you could ever watch. They had a sequel and another sequel. Yeah, I think they had 3. Yeah, they had 3, if I'm not mistaken. What movie was it, guys? Black kids with no dad around. That's just common. Yeah, that's just I think it was like 90% of black dads are not around. That's why we can joke around with that. But yeah. Anybody? What movie was it, guys? Rocky? Nah. Stand By Me? Nah. Karate Kid, Amanda. Ding, 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 ding. Hold on, Amanda. I got to give you this. Hold on. Where is it? I should have lined it up. There you go. Amanda got the right answer. Karate Kid. Karate Kid. Right? What did Danielson do? Take karate. That was back in the 80s. 90s. I can't remember what movie there was. See, I'm having a brain fart. But Karate Kid is the right answer. That's why karate was so popular back then. Is to make men to protect themselves from bullying. Then it changed in the year 2000, right? They took out the bullying because kids were committing suicide. All right, enough with that. That's just a common sense question, but that's why we don't use our noggins. All right, we really don't use our noggins. And speaking of not using our noggins, check out what CNN's trying to do. Things are switching, but check this out with the whole immigration.
Yeah, sometimes I like blunt questions because they sort of get at the underlying feelings that people have. So this is about as blunt a question as you can get. Deport all immigrants here illegally. I will note the ABC News poll asked about undocumented immigrants. So we have slightly different questions, but these were all taken within the last month. And there's real uniformity here. That's what I really think you see. You see real uniformity. Deport all immigrants who are here illegally. 55% of the New York Times. Marquette, 64%. CBS News, 57%. ABC News with a slightly different question, 56%. So what you're seeing essentially here is a very clear indication that a majority of Americans, in fact, when they're asked this blunt question, which I believe gets at the underlying feelings, do in fact want to deport all immigrants who are here illegally. There's no arguing with these different numbers because they're all essentially the same across 4 different pollsters. Feelings towards immigration in this country, feelings towards undocumented immigrants and deporting all of them have become considerably more hawkish. And I think that gives Donald Trump much more leverage to go with the American people and sort of have these hawkish, some might say harsh, different rhetoric and also issue-based sort of going after immigrants who are here illegally. Want immigration levels decreased. This includes legal and illegal immigration. Look at this. Last year, 55%. That is the highest level since the 9/11 aftermath. You go back just to 2020.
And this, again, legal and illegal. So people want less people coming into the country.
Exactly. They want less people coming into the country. Look at that. That's a 14-point rise from 2023. You go back to 2016 when Donald Trump again was running for president the first time. It was 38%. That's a 17-point rise. So the bottom line is more folks want people who are here illegally deported, and their overall feelings towards immigration have become considerably more hawkish.
63% say they're okay with deporting immigrants who are here illegally and arrived in the last 4 years. 87% are good with deporting immigrants who are here illegally and have criminal records.
Imagine that. 87%. Not that I really care about what CNN says, but check this out. That's right. President Trump, this is from CNN. The most influential president of this century is going to be proven true when history is written about him, freeing the world from globalists, central banking rot, enslaving citizens around the world in every country to pillage wealth to themselves. Yeah, Mr. Freedom, what was it that you said? Is Trump's not here to save us? I think everyone can argue about that, and I'm kind of glad he's coming on my show because I think I got some people that are going to give it to him with the whole Trump is not here to save us. Trump's been saving us since 2017, but I can't wait to get the facts. And here's one fact. Check this out. This is by Vincent Kennedy. If you guys don't know who he is, trust me, he tells the truth. So in an absolutely stunning turn of events, BlackRock has filed for bankruptcy. If you guys know anything about BlackRock, you'll know that they're one of the top elite family, all right, companies. So that's right. The same firm that controlled more wealth than most countries is now drowning in its own failures. How did this happen? Simple. They were cut off from the corrupt financial practices that had been sustaining them for decades. And who do we thank that for? Sanctions. Yes, those magical sanctions that are shutting down the dirty money machine. Yeah, bad man, orange man, bad, not here to save us. No. I remember Mr. Orange, Orange Man literally came out last December, 2024, or sorry, 2023, 2020. I don't even know what year it is. That's how bad it is. Yeah, no, 2024. Calls Governor Trudeau, exposes Governor Trudeau within what? Within a month or two, Trudeau was stepping down. But Orange Man bad, right? You just can't make this shit up. But one thing that I forgot to mention about his Davos, if you guys do the Q drops and stuff like that, and if you pay attention, remember when he said this at Davos? Everyone was perfectly executed. Trump at Davos. Guess who told him? A military expert. So I want you guys to take a very good, if you guys can remember that speech when he said that, everyone was perfectly executed. All right? Go back in his speech and say, what was he talking about? What was he talking about when he said that? Okay? And what if Donald Trump really wants to expose the corruption, all he has to do is this. Donald Trump should tell the illegals that if they give in order to give them citizenship, if they vote Republican, and see how fast the Democrats would want them out of the country. Yeah. So if you really want to mind fudge the Democrats, just tell the illegals that if they vote for Republican, that they will get a citizenship, and see how fast the Democrats would want them out. Right? I think that's a good reverse psychology thing. What was this one? I can't. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, check this out. I want to save this for Sunday, but I'll try to save it anyway, because I'm going to try to save up some stuff. And speaking of Davos, if anybody, any of you Freedom Family, if you guys can find me the video clip, because I tried looking for it, and of course they smudged it, of Donald Trump back in 2020. Back in 2020 at the Davos, when he looked at all the world leaders and he said, if you guys think, we all know what you're trying to do. And if you think you're going to do it, you're not going to do it. I wish I could I wish I could imitate, talk like Donald Trump. But he literally warned all the globalists, we know what you're trying to do, but it's not going to work. So if you guys can find that clip for me, that alone, would prove a point to Mr. Freedom, that Donald Trump. Okay. I have a video. Remember the video, guys, with the whole adrenochrome, and it used to be an introduction for me with the adrenochrome and Donald Trump and what he's done to save. And it's a beautiful song. It'll make anyone cry. It'll make the strongest man cry. But I can't play that video because last time I played that video, they literally banned my whole account. I had to start a whole new account, and I'm too scared to bring Mr. Big Time on and show him that video, because I know the video, my whole account, Jeff Freedom, would be wiped out just on that video alone. I got a bunch of videos to show with Donald Trump, but that video alone with adrenochrome and all that stuff, that alone, when someone says he's not here to save us, for the people that know, and I know Josh can't be a stupid person, but I think he knows what adrenochrome is, because I know he knows that the earth is flat, which is, I think he's been paying attention to somebody, which I have to say for Sunday. But anyway, but check this out. Orange Man Bad. Check this out. So cocaine was found at Biden's house. A dead body was found at Obama's house. A male prostitute was found at Pelosi's house. An illegal server was found at Clinton's house. A dead drug naked boy was found in Adam Schiff's Standards hotel room bed, but yet the FBI raided Trump's house. So let me get this straight. So if Donald Trump was part of the plan and part of that, why would every celebrity hate him? Why would all the news, you turn on any news channel right now, even after my live, you turn on any news channel, and I guarantee they're going to be talking bad about Donald Trump. Every single news, and they've been doing it since when, guys? Let me look here on my time. 2017? Actually, no, 2016. Actually, as soon as he announced that he was going to be president, actually, before he even announced he was going to be president, he hinted that he was going to go. 2014? Huh? What do you think? Actually, in 2011 or 12, when he called out Obama by saying he wasn't a resident and proved that he was born in Hawaii, he's been trashed ever since. But he's part of the club? Yeah, sure. An 80-year-old man wanting to waste the best years of his life to be attacked, try to get assassinated, having a shitload of army to go wherever he goes. Sure, I can see it. A billionaire loses millions of dollars daily because of them, the Democrats doing damage to his reputation. I mean, sure. Yeah. Whatever you want to believe. Okay. Well, Jeff, he was Operation Warp Speed. Operation Warp Speed, huh? Okay. Operation Warp Speed. Obviously, you don't know what operation stands for. And Warp Speed there's a reason why he called it Warp Speed. But those are all stuff I'm going to save for Sunday. If you guys want to, remind me, which if I was smart, I'd write shit down, but it comes naturally. If you can find me that video in 2020 at Davos, where 3 days later, was it Soros? Soros came on TV and said that Donald Trump was a threat to, was a threat to society and sovereignty and all that crap, right? But he's part of the club. Let's use our brains, people. Come on, let's use our brain. Robert De Niro hated Trump from the first day he got. Yeah, of course. Back, he said in 2000, asked if he would run. He said no need to get U.S. better, though. Forget the wording. Yeah. Anyway, what's this? Every time he does a live, Donald Trump and I watch him. There's so many haters on there that call him a rapist. And thank you about that. Okay, check this out. I love that. You just brought up what I had to bring for it. So people keep on saying, well, if Donald Trump would just release the Epstein files, the reason why he doesn't want to release the Epstein files because he's in on it. Well, that's probably one of the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. Why? and I'll let you guys answer this. All right, get ready for the comments. All right, because I'm watching. All right, if Donald Trump was on the Epstein file, okay, ready for this? Because Epstein file, who gives a shit? Honest to God, who literally gives a shit? All right, when there's so much things happening around the world, who gives a shit? That's why he doesn't care on the Epstein's file. If he was on the Epstein file, why did in 2007, before anything was ever exposed, all right, why back in 2007 did he not ban Epstein from everything that he owns? Remember that? Why? Which administration, if he was part of it and on the Epstein files, okay, why did the Democrats use it against him? They used everything else against them, right? Which administration, which DOJ arrested him, right? Anybody? Which DOJ arrested him back in 2019? Anybody? Was it Obama's administration? Was it Clinton's administration? Was it Bush administration? Which administration had him arrested in 2019? I can go on, but if Trump had anything to do with Epstein, he definitely wouldn't have did something to have him arrested in 2019. So make that make sense. All right. When you guys make that make sense, please let me know. Curly says Biden. No, Biden never arrested Epstein. That was Trump's administration. In 2019, had nothing to do with Biden, to be honest with you. It had everything to do with Donald Trump's administration in 2019, right? Yeah, Epstein goes back to 2004. Are you kidding me? Epstein goes back to the 1990s, you know, the late 1990s. All right, guys. So with that being said, there's many things I could talk about, but at the end of the day, I think everybody gets the picture. All right. All right. So I think that's going to be, and yeah, speaking of Donald Trump, and now you're hearing a lot about the news about Donald Trump taking kids and the immigrant kids and doing bad things to them. Check this out. You guys will like this minute video.
So this is Trump's ICE facility that they take the kids to. Honestly, this is pretty hard to watch, so I'm just going to give you guys a warning. This is so cruel. I can't believe this. Feeding them Republican propaganda? How dare they? Wow, forcing them to play basketball? That's probably racist somehow. Honestly, this is just pure cruelty. I can't believe how bad they're being to these people. I'm sorry you guys had to see that, but on a much lighter note, let's take a look at some of Obama's, paradises that he had for his illegal immigrants. As you can see here, just very, very considerate. The holes he put in those cages so that people could breathe fresh air and fresh oxygen. Honestly, super considerate. There's Obama there, letting them be able to see a famous person, someone of notoriety so they can look up to. I mean, the humility is crazy of this guy. Yeah, so I think we learned a lot here.
And one little fact before I close the show off tonight is Clinton, Bush, Obama, they literally deported more immigrants than Trump ever did. And you know how many, trust me on this, and you know how many riots have happened with those last three presidents deporting millions, like Obama was like 10 million. You know how many riots those last three presidents had for deportation? Zero. Okay. Trump deported, I think it's 1.5 million so far. 1.5 million. You know how many riots have happened so far as of today? Over 330 riots have happened. Make that make sense. When you guys make that make sense, just to let you know, yeah, please tell me that Donald Trump's not saving the world and that the world of Democrats and evilness is not against them. Anyway, guys, that's it for tonight. Thank you for this Monday night. I love you guys all. We had a good crowd tonight. I will see you guys back maybe Thursday. I will be going to my son's hockey tournament. So if I do see you guys, it's going to be on my cell phone. I'll be doing my live on my cell phone. Sorry, but it is what it is. I won't be doing it on my home computer. So it's going to be kind of iffy. But as long as I'm with you guys Thursday night at 9 o'clock, it is what it is. Take care. Have a great night. And we'll see you guys back very soon. And I'm going to close the show with my intro. Adios.
Miss out. Bringing you the real truth, exposed. The Canadian Dawn is digging deeper, asking what others won't, and broadcasting it uncensored. For real. Join the conversation live with facts you can see and voices you can trust. Subscribe today.